guys, Theo here on Common Sense, out here on the balcony after an intense upper workout to enjoy my first meal of the day. And I'm gonna tell you about my bulk in this video. I'll be going on a bulk, guys. I'm too lean, I'm too shredded. It's time to put some fluff and some hardness, and some hard stuff, but a little bit of fluff along with it. It's time to bulk. So let me finish this meal. I'll tell you real quick. It's the Solar Shake. It's the bulk edition, you know. It's Greek yogurt. It's the egg yolks. It's the whey, it's the honey, bunch of honey in there. It's the cocoa flakes, it's the walnuts, it's hazelnuts, it's the pear nuts. The berries, the blueberries and raspberries, and that's it now. For the leaner version, when you're just maintaining or cutting, stick with some less fatty dairy, like not Greek yogurt, maybe kefir or more kefir. I mix them sometimes. Less honey maybe, no nuts, obviously. Rice puffs is my favorite for the leaner version. But anyway, let me enjoy this. And I'll talk to you after I finished it, actually. So now I'm editing the video. Still in the sun, by the way, you guys. That's the opti tidbit of the day. Everything you can do in the sun, do it, because everything is better in the sun. So whatever you're doing, go out and do it. But yeah, something I forgot to say that I want to remind you guys every video for a bit now is that I now have regular live streams again at 6 p.m. Central European time on Saturdays. So that's, Americans are like 7 to 10 hours behind. So I know that in LA it will be 9 in the morning, for instance. There are some in-betweens for other countries, of course, and to the other end, on the other side of the world. So please, guys, it's going to be training and fasted, focused a lot, but you can, of course, ask me any question about mental health and depression and all that. So please, you can keep the questions coming for the stream already now. It's going to be a regular thing, you guys. All right, guys, that was very enjoyable. Should say that, obviously, I've had my solar soda. Well, I haven't said it in a while. Sun soda, 50-50, orange juice and coconut water. About 1.5 liters total at the start of the day, with sodium, of course, and I had the raw beef liver and carrot that I probably put here at the intro. So it's time to bulk, guys, and what you'll see is that I choose to, I'll talk about how I do it and why, kind of, you know. So how I still choose to have my 16-8 kind of intermittent fasting window. It's just because I like the lifestyle, and it's like I'm not rigid about it. It's more like, especially now, because I've started doing the sun soda as a kind of energizing rehydration drink at the start of the day, like not for the first few hours that I go up, because I go up very early. I go up at like 4, but at like 8 I start drinking this, and then around 11 I break, you know, I officially see the 8-hour window open. But considering that, you know, it's gonna be like a 12 to 8 hour eating window, but often closer to 8, right? But it's just because that's the way I like to structure my eating. Several big meals with just the sun soda, something like that in between, you know, rather than many. And I like to have a fasted time throughout the day, like the early morning, you know, when I do some client stuff, I respond to some personal voice messages, I might write some Instagram posts, write some programs, have my Greek lesson. I like to, for those things that are more like this, that I will have some later in the day too, but especially when the weather is nice, I try to get as much of that out of the way as possible at the start of the day. And yeah, I like to be fasted for that. It's gonna be a cognitive boost, you know, not for someone who's a food addict and used to having breakfast and go off it, but when you programmed yourself to this, right? So yeah, what I opt for, how I bulk, like I've been struggling. I've been now actually bulking for like 2 weeks, where I've actually been managing to gain weight. I had issues when I went away to Gotland on vacation. I really tried to stay at my current, I added so much fat, so much, it was just ridiculous, the stick of butters I put on my meat. Like people were laughing, you know, and still I got leaner on vacation. I went down from like 82, 83 to more like almost 80, 81 almost. Really ripped. And then when I came home, it's also the way, you know, so how have I done it this year? That I went on a giga bulk, put on a lot, I consciously put on a bunch of extra fat, and you know, in order to be able to fast as a means of cutting, but because I also like some effects from cutting and putting on more fat, you're able to fast more, right? So then when I started cutting in like April, I was done with that in June. From there, I've done this kind of main gaining style that I try to I don't hold back on food, but I don't actively bulk. But then there's been, because I've been so highly active, I really had to think about trying to eat enough without that I'm bulking, right? But yeah, so a while after Gotland, I just stayed ripped no matter what I did. But then, no, finally, when I pushed it up over 4,000 calories or something, I finally gaining weight again. I now weigh 83, 84. And so this is just guys, that it's optimal. It's optimal to bulk, to put on muscle. It's like, you know, people, they get married to being lean, ripped, and often when you try to build muscle and stay lean at the same time, you end up just maintaining very often. It is possible, even for the more advanced athlete, to kind of lean bulk, put on almost nothing but muscle, but it's often better to just think of it as I'm bulking. Embrace what you're doing at the time. Embrace that I want to gain weight. I don't mind if there's a little bit of fat that comes along with that. And the opposite when you cut, you know, like, yeah, I focus on cutting. I try to hold on as much strength in the gym as possible, but it's fine if I lose a little bit. Some will correlate even with my body weight, even if I hadn't lost muscle mass, right? So some exercises just body weight dependent like that. So yeah, now I want to, before I go to Greece, I just want to embrace the weather is not going to be quite as nice. A lovely day today, but you know, I'm going to feel better about being a lot in the gym like this. I will naturally move a bit less just because it's not going to be summer. I still go out and I walk a lot, but you know, it's so natural for me in the summer to go out almost all the time when I'm not doing, even if I'm editing on my phone, just go out, you know. It will be a little more sitting still like that. Just a good opportunity to bulk, and I have some goals. I want to reach the one arm chin up, which of course it's going to gain me. It's going to be, when I go for it finally, it's going to serve me, I mean, to be lighter, but in the pursuit of getting there and getting stronger, it's good to, you know, that I get heavier. And I just have to be mindful about that in my training, that if I lose reps but I get heavier, I haven't really lost reps, because it's such a heavy pull. You know, a kilo body weight is going to make a difference. It makes, you know, if you think of it, adding 1 kilo when you have two hands, it's twice as much you add in a sense when it's just the one side, right? Yeah, and so my main way of doing this, I keep my 16-8, you know, like I say, I drink the sun soda from the start of the day. I'll probably stop with that after a while when the sun is I'm not going to need it as much, you know. But then what I've done is I eat more rice instead of potatoes. It's a way of getting in carbs more easily. I just kind of up the rice there mainly, because you know I would be eating seasonal more now in Sweden, but I will moving to Greece, so I'll keep carbs in, but I'll maybe not push the orange juice, for instance, and the sun soda, because it's for hydration too, I've been thinking. No, but I've noticed that a lot for me, I love having some carbs involved. It's always better for gains in my opinion, but not this like giga high carb that like a professional bodybuilder on steroids and insulin would do, you know. But just having carbs in there, a few 100 grams. But then fat is where it's easiest for me with a bulk. You know, it's funny because I kind of said that Cole's keto diet is not good for bodybuilding. Yeah, I agree with it still. I will have my carbs in, but fat is a great way of just getting enough calories. I've noticed now, I really learned. So I put a bunch of butter and tallow in the pan when I cook, or sometimes I just go for really much fattier, like mixed mincemeat when it's like pig and cow, so it's like 20%. Maybe I don't have to add quite as much fat in the pan, you know, but I do that with leaner stuff. And when I fry the eggs and stuff, and in my solar shake there, like I said at the start, I opt for a fattier version. Like the leaner version would be something like kefir instead of like 2% fat instead of 10, a bit less honey, no nuts. The nuts are obviously calorie bomb. I mainly eat them for calories. I've noticed they're actually in the right amount is actually quite good for my digestion, so I'm happy that I had to bring them back, sort of. And cocoa flakes, of course, too. Would opt for the rice puffs more when I keep it leaner, right? And then yeah, like I said, with other meals, it's the same structure the way I always eat. I just kind of increase the total amount, and mainly by like adding more fat and choosing fattier like meat and dairy options, for instance, you know. So the goal here is to reach 83, 84 now. I guess it's fair to say that it was like 82 when I started this. It's gonna be like a 2-month plus bulk. Remove a message. And so the goal is to weigh like 86, 87 kilos by the end of October, when I consider doing a 3-day dry fast, but it's not being dry, that's the point. I probably not do the sun soda fast, because it has to be one that really empties me out, because I want to do it nicotine and caffeine free again. I have lowered my consumption since my sun soda fast that I did for that reason, among other things. I would say I've lowered it by 60%, but right now I'm having quite just in my every day I feel like going lower is getting difficult. So just a boost again to my quitting, but reducing drastically my caffeine and nicotine consumption, that too. But I actually want to do a phone-free fast. Go away to the place where I did my dry fast back in the day, like a throwback to that. Doesn't have to be a dry fast this time, but I have no internet. I might have my phone if I decide to make a video, but have it on airplane mode the entire time. Because it's a spiritual fast too. But it's also kind of, you know, strip off a bit of the fat that came on the bulk. And I'll say this again about embracing the bulk, guys. If you're afraid of getting too fat, if you keep it high, you know, this is when a calorie is not really a calorie, because it is a calorie equation to some extent. It's just that when you're a highly active, muscular guy, jacked guy, and you train fucking hard, and you eat nice fucking food only, meat, potatoes, fruit, rice, honey, dairy, eggs, you know, carrots, berries, these are the things you eat. Let's say your maintenance was 3,300 before starting the bulk. When you push up to 4,000, you can't see it as a 700 calorie surplus from just eating crap and not being this highly active person. The body is just gonna use it more productively. You're gonna put on just as much muscle as possible. And a lot of it is just of the energy you eat is just gonna go into driving you. This energy, you see the energy I always fucking have, guys, even when I'm quite lean. It's an issue some people have, that when they get leaner they lose energy. But because I nourish my body so well with the sleep, with the sunlight, with the high quality nutrition, I use my calorie budget well, I always have great energy, and that's why I want to. I'm gonna put on a little bit of fat. I already put on just a little bit of fat since I started bulking, with some water and maybe some muscle, you know. But it's gonna, the thing is, what happens when you bulk, you know, never mind about certain numbers, body fat percentages and body weight. When I get up to 86, 87 now, that's 3 kilos from here, that's gonna be mostly fat and water, a bit of muscle. But you know, in some lights and angles, I just look softer. In some lights and angles, and especially in the gym with a pump, I'm just gonna look like equally as ripped, just bigger. So it really depends, it's about perspective. That's why we embrace it, guys. We don't get married. We can always get back here. The Solar Knight has in his arsenal of things that he can do the fast. Just fucking fast and trip it off, guys. So there was some last thing I wanted to say. Yeah, I said a one-arm chin-up is one of the goals. One is also a 140 kilo bench press. We'll see just how ambitious I get with it if I actually want to do a Larsen press 140 kilos, even the close grip Larsen press. I got challenged by someone to do that before I'm 30. I asked about goals, so I kind of had to embrace it. I personally don't care all that much about the bench press. It's a good exercise, but for me personally, not super interesting. But I like it because it's a guy exercise. Lots of guys like it, right? And the cool girls, by the way, Solar Maidens, Solar Sun Princesses, they always love benching, I've noticed, and I think that's fucking hot with girls that also not only squat and deadlift and hip thrust for those nice glutes and quads and hamstrings, right? Love that too, obviously, but when they also bench and dip and shoulder press and do pull-ups and rows, wow, fucking attractive. I almost get a little excited talking about it. But yeah, guys, those are my goals. The legs, I've noticed that when I gain weight, I can increase my lifts. But the legs are more, I'm really going heavy, Romanian deadlifts and squats. That's gonna be in there, but then the rest is all being nice to the hip and trying to heal it, finally. So I wanna go to Greece, fucking jacked, fucking reset more from the nicotine and caffeine, fucking strong as fuck. Reset from the phone, all everything, guys. Yeah, I don't have too much time now, as I'm just yeah, you know. But if I, well, whatever more I want in the video, but please like, please comment, give your input. What do you think about bulking? Any bulking questions, bring them on this video, guys. Please consider becoming a Patreon, as some people have become that, and it's very much appreciated. For a small content creator like me, it means a lot, it makes a huge difference. I'm really daily videos, guys, and I'm trying to listen to you, put out everything you ask for. So please, let's keep this fucking great trend going. We're gonna hit 10K subscribers at this end of the year if you guys help out, both with the Patreon, but likes, comments for the algorithm, subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, all that kind of cool shit, guys. Okay, I'll see you later. Peace.